Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest gaming news, rumors, and speculation. It's been quite a while since we talked about the Elder Scrolls 6, probably because we have easily another 5 years or so until we finally get that game in our hands, but nonetheless it'll be the next single-player Elder Scrolls game after more than 10 years, actually more like 15 years after the initial release of Skyrim by the time the Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, which is just freaking insane to say out loud. But what is perhaps even more insane are all the little Bethesda Sheogoraths who somehow are still excited and hyped for this game, even though it's gonna be quite a while until we get it in our hands, and even though it'll have been like 15 years since the last Elder Scrolls single-player game. Of course, I'm one of these little crazy Sheogoraths too, so I'm super hyped for this game, and to be honest, we do have more information and straight-up statements by Bethesda regarding Starfield now than we've ever had before, so I want to use this knowledge to build upon my Elder Scrolls 6 theories and speculation a bit, because I firmly believe Todd Howard himself said some things about Starfield that will 100% carry over to the Elder Scrolls 6 to some capacities. So let's not waste any more time and get to today's content. First off, although it may seem like we don't have much information about Starfield yet, when you put it all together, it's a lot more than you may actually expect. And while Todd Howard and his sweet little 16 times the detail lies have definitely been a thing in the past, it seems like Bethesda Game Studios are actually making some pretty bold statements about Starfield, both officially and unofficially. And of course, Todd Howard and his 100% level speechcraft is the source of most of these statements. But today's video is not a let's collect everything we know about Starfield so far and talk about it well on Skooma video. Instead, I'm going to be talking about some of the specific statements that I think are linked directly to the Elder Scrolls 6 as well as Starfield. We'll begin with perhaps the most elusive statement out of the entire bunch that I'll be talking about today, and work our way up to the more confirmed stuff. And this statement comes to us from none other than CamelTwerks, a big-time alien man Bethesda YouTuber. And Camel states that, well, at some kind of Bethesda event, perhaps it was E3 or perhaps it was one of Todd Howard's sexy secret parties, somebody approached Camel from perhaps behind, just depending on what kind of story this is, and this person was none other than anonymous Bethesda Game Studios developer that Camel doesn't want to name. And I'll quote directly, apparently, that Starfield will be the biggest and most amazing thing in gaming ever. So whether or not you believe the twerking camel is up to you, but it seems like this statement most likely is true, because I don't know why Camel would lie, but then again, I actually don't know him that well. Just because he's a big YouTuber doesn't mean that he tells the truth. But in the least, if Bethesda are using Starfield to really push the envelope in terms of what you'll actually be able to do in this game, then that means the game will have a lot more game mechanics and the game world will be even more immersive and in-depth. But fear not, because now in comes Todd Howard and the sound of his speechcraft leveling up, as he states in an interview with No Clips from 2018,
the biggest, most epic science fiction thing you could possibly imagine.
Todd says that Starfield is the most epic science fiction thing you can ever imagine. I wonder if that's who approached CamelWorks from behind in the previous statement, but again, this is a pretty huge and bold statement, which, if Starfield was indeed the most epic science fiction thing ever that we could ever imagine, it would have to have a lot of gameplay mechanics, something which I'll elaborate more here on in a second. But if Starfield is indeed the most epic science fiction thing ever, then that too would have to mean that the Elder Scrolls 6 would be the most epic Elder Scrolls ever as well. I mean, that's how it would work, right? It just works, Todd? Does it just work? I mean, Skyrim and its theme song are indeed pretty epic, so that would be quite the achievement if Bethesda was able to pull that off, which no doubt it would be possible if Todd isn't just upselling Starfield a little too hard here. But the most exciting statement from Todd Howard regarding Starfield just so happens to also be the one that I believe has the most to do with the Elder Scrolls 6. A dual statement, if you will. Todd Howard has such a high speech skill that he is dual-wielding statements now, apparently, and this specific statement comes to us from a post-E3 2021 interview with Todd Howard himself. So this statement is both fairly recent, and at the same time, it was made just over a year away from Starfield's actual release date, meaning the majority of the game is already finished and most likely in the final polishing and testing phases at the time of Todd making this statement. And the actual statement is that Starfield says yes to a lot of the questions that the player may have, which, again, is a fairly bold statement and should immediately answer questions like, can we pilot our own ship? Can we smuggle space skooma? Can we make the alien girl pregnant? But what interests me more than the alien girl is if Bethesda can actually make Starfield and Creation Engine 2 allow for several major gameplay mechanics to actually be possible like this. Because if that's the case, then the same would no doubt have to apply to The Elder Scrolls 6 as well, because that game is going to come out after Starfield, according to Bethesda themselves. So what new gameplay mechanics can the Creation Engine 2 say yes to in terms of The Elder Scrolls 6? How about a much larger game world full of even more detail and content than ever before? A world still handcrafted by Bethesda for the most part that utilizes next-gen procedural generation techniques to fill the world out even further. And I'm not talking about No Man's Sky style stuff here, but more like Todd Howard pulling a Talos and instead of making the jungles disappear, actually making more landmass that seems like it was meant to be there all along. But world size isn't just one thing. What matters more are the gameplay elements. While we probably won't be flying around a spaceship in The Elder Scrolls 6, for the first time ever we can maybe even take our adventures onto the sea itself, setting sail and battling sea harpies flying around and trying to tear down our sails, and aquatic monsters from underneath the ocean waves themselves, all in the hopes of seeing the next island come into view just over the horizon. Maybe we can find the ruins of a castle full of lost spirits from the inhabitants that came before, and after cleaning out that castle, we can fix it up and make it like new again, allowing it to serve as our new player home, a place to rest and recharge, as well as a place to fix up our ship and to drop off our treasures. Maybe we decide to go find other people out there in the area to bring back and live on our island, building up a busy and bustling island city where traders and travelers alike can come to spend their coin or share their stories and radiant quests. Or maybe we decide to build up a pirate haven, spending 100 extra gameplay hours just pirating and pillaging ships, making enemies of the game world's factions along the way. Maybe instead of just building settlements like in Fallout 4 and most likely even in Starfield, we can actually build up an entire faction in The Elder Scrolls 6, one that literally can take control of different towns and territories, allowing us to collect taxes and build power and influence in both High Rock and Hammerfell, because, like I said before, the game world would be much larger than ever before, so I'd expect us to get at least 2 regions, including the Iliac Bay in between. While all this seems like I am just skooma dreaming in some kind of shack in southern Cyrodiil, Todd Godrey's Howard literally said himself that Starfield will say yes to a lot of the things the player would want to do, and Starfield is indeed coming out before The Elder Scrolls 6, so no doubt TES 6 will be an even further improvement of all this yes-based software. With that in mind, it seems like most of this and more should be possible in The Elder Scrolls 6, but then again, Todd does have a high speechcraft skill, and he knows how to bend words a bit to just get us a little bit more hyped. We won't really know for sure what Todd means by any of this until Starfield, and then even further The Elder Scrolls 6 actually releases, and even then we may discover that we were just fed some more of those sweet little lies. Either way, it seems like Bethesda are willing to make extra bold statements about Starfield, a lot more bold than they've ever been before, which leads me to believe that there might actually be some truth to these statements, and Starfield will definitely blow us away, which will act like a match in a barn full of gasoline for some reason. I don't know why this is my explanation here, but it'll act like the match that causes a chain reaction of explosions and hype amongst the community, all centered around what awaits us in the next Elder Scrolls game, which will take place 15 years after the last one. Okay, getting myself a little bit upset now again. Either way, that's going to finish up everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. As always, if you're hyped for the things I listed in this video, let me know down in the comments below, as well as let me know what you'd like to see in The Elder Scrolls 6 down in the comments below as well. And if you enjoy the content, be sure to give a video a thumbs up. It actually helps the channel out a lot. And if you want to stay in the know when it comes to the latest gaming news, be sure to subscribe as well. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed, because recent comments apparently are making it clear that people are being unsubscribed randomly. Also, share the content, because that's the best way to help grow a channel and the community. And be sure to turn notifications on as well, as that actually helps the channel get attention by the algorithm. Only 10% of subscribers have YouTube notifications turned on for the channel, so please hit that bell. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, you can support the community over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time, where hopefully I actually drink water while I record. Ugh.
It just works.